Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this year.
It's the end of the party and the fireworks are through.
All right.
That is a New Year's song, right?
Is it?
ABBA's Happy New Year. Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, I'm not the ABBA fan that you are, so.
I'm born in Sweden, so I have to.
You have to celebrate their entire oeuvre.
Yeah, it's like you have to cheer for the Confederacy whenever studying the American Civil War.
I didn't realize how many things I learned as a kid were Confederacy coded. It wasn't until later as an adult I went, huh. So I don't mention I guess where I grew up very often in the States, but I grew up in the deep South, rural America in the Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi Valley, Mississippi Delta region.
We've mentioned Arkansas so many times on the show.
We have mentioned Arkansas so many times on the show, you're right. But I was just thinking about where specifically it was, not because normally when I mention Arkansas, I mention up in the northwest area where my brother lives now.
Yeah.
But I actually grew up more towards the eastern side along the Mississippi Delta region. And it's a bit different experience. If Fayetteville is I'm hesitant to use the cultural mecca of Arkansas. I grew up in the other part, the polar opposite of that. So, yeah, there was a lot of Confederacy things and thinly veiled Confederacy things I never really thought about.
Right, so we've already gone off.
Yeah, but it's end of year, and we're reminiscing about the past and where we've been and where we are, and it's been a really good year. I've had a lot of fun this year, recording lots of beers and from all over the world that we've had
we had a lot of fun episodes.
Yeah,
and we've just gotten through our really fun Christmas calendar.
Christmas calendar was a blast. I had a really great time with that, and once again, for the most part, lots of winners. Yeah. Not too many stinkers in there.
There usually are a lot of winners.
Yeah. Which is always nice. So
this year, beer festival wise, I can only remember MBCC.
Because the rest of them you blacked out.
And Brewskival, which was supposed to be the last year ever of Brewskival, but we've recently found out that there is going to be a Brewskival next year. They are continuing it. It wasn't.
I think I knew that like 2 weeks before Brewskival.
No.
Yeah, because
there was no news about it.
Okay, so there was no official news, but the city of Helsingborg approached them and said, "We would like to co-sponsor this, and we'll set you up in a real establishment, not in the backyard of your brewery situation." So
that is smart.
I think that's may have been why it was the last one. It's the last one in that location, and I think next year it's going to be more of in a convention center kind of situation there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then in the beginning of November, you and I and a few of our friends, we went to the Cantillon Blåbär release in Copenhagen. Let's call it Copenhagen, the western outskirts of Copenhagen. Västra Brøndby. It was a long way to go there, but a really fun event with a lot of beers being shared.
It's always a lot of fun. And it's so funny. I remember, the first time I went, there were just, a huge line. Just people were lined up around the block. And then it stayed that way pretty much up until Old Butikken closed. And then when it moved to Himmelriget, it was still pretty big. And then it's just been smaller and smaller groups of people showing up every year since then.
Yes.
And this year, I think, may have been, from what I understand, it's not the smallest group of people that's ever shown up for one of these, but it was probably in the bottom 3 in attendance, I would have to think.
I think so.
I think last year was more sparsely attended simply because it was the week between Christmas and New Year.
Right.
Nobody wanted to stand outside in freezing temperature at the end of February, at the end of December. But this year, it was always a lot of fun. I think there may have been 25 people before it opened. I mean, there's really nobody was there.
No, but then people kept showing up.
Yeah. People. A lot of friends we haven't seen in a while showed up, and we heard about the demise of Inside Cellars, which made me really sad because I love them. I'm getting to think maybe it's one of our friends is the problem because he seems to have a dog. I'm joking.
He's just cursed.
He is. He just keeps working at places that are in the last throes of their business. But the Inside's just opened, and they did a lot of great stuff, and we got to try some of their beers while we were there, and a lot of other great beers. And they were doing this crazy sale where you could get.
Yeah, Drick Beer was doing a crazy sale.
Drick Beer was having a crazy sale. They're moving warehouses. Yeah.
So both a sale of a lot of Cantillons, some on the rarer side, like Le Plaisir and Piacere and Ashanti. Ashanti isn't really rare, and then some old ones like Iris 2013 and Bruxella 2013. So a little bit older. Those bottles were just flying off the shelves. But what you mean is like almost a fire sale of just random beers that were available at some point during Drick Beer.
Yeah.
So Bellwoods, Saint Errant, a lot of Evil Twin. 10 beers for 100 Danish kroner. That's a buck. A beer.
They were really good beer. A lot of them were really, really good beers. Yeah. There were a few dogs, but for the most part, really good stuff.
Yeah, you found a lot of bottles from Was Brewing.
Yeah, and those were a lot of saisons and kind of wild ales, and those were kind of fun to try. I picked up a Bananiversary for like 200 Danish. Yeah, that was really nice.
Barrel-aged Bananiversary.
Barrel-aged, yeah.
Other half.
That was really exciting. We've had it before, but it's always amazing. So I had to get it again.
So those are the events. Yeah. Then we've both been to some trips. I went to Vienna. You went to Portugal.
I feel like there was another trip, but I might be misremembering.
I went to Netherlands to Breda, and then I brought back some beers as well. Yeah.
Breda, lovely little town.
Yeah. So that's the year as I remember it. You want to get into the first beer?
I think we should get in the first beer.
I brought it, and it's a Fonteinen. Why not end the year on Fonteinen?
Of course.
And it's Prium Mirabelle X Olorosso, 22-23 vintage and blend number 25. So it's aged on sherry barrels. Yeah,
I really like the Prium Mirabelle line at this point. Yeah. I think this is maybe the fourth one they've released.
I think so.
And it's so good. You get so much like plum on the nose, and it just smells so juicy and fruity. So excited about
Before we started recording, we needed to check thoroughly that Stefan hadn't tried it and that he didn't own it already. Now that we both have Fontaines in our cellars, I wanted you to have something new.
But I've never tried it, so what difference does it make? Even if I owned it, I would still be able to just drink yours and save mine for later.
Well, that's true, of course.
Oh my god.
That is really good.
Yeah, that's really, really good. It's a little tart, a little acidic, but of course as it goes to expect it to be. A little on the green side, but on the finish. But the upfront flavors is just like really sweet, juicy plum. And then it ends really neat, really dry, very clean finish with a little bit of a tart bitterness in the final flavor, I think.
It has a finish that kind of sticks to my tongue. Mm-hmm. Like if you eat a plum or a peach that is very fuzzy, that kind of physical sensation. It's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely got really activates the salivary glands there. Kind of trying hard not to drool a little bit because it's very mouth-wateringly good.
I'm going to pour a little more.
Yeah, of course you should. You have a big bottle to finish. It's a good thing about you opening these 3F bottles that they're 750 milliliters. And sadly, we only can share it between the two of us.
Oh, no.
Oh, poor us.
Whatever will we do with the rest of the contents of this bottle?
I guess we'll just have to drink it.
Exactly. Yeah, Fonteinen came out with beers on kegs outside. I think they've had them at their venue before. But in an exporting capacity, I think this was the first year that we saw Fonteinen. Well, okay, and obviously that's not true because Stene at Akkurat, he had some mysterious keg like 20, 30 years ago. There are always these exceptions.
Okay, so 20, 30 years ago doesn't really count anymore.
No.
I mean, it was a one-off random thing that happened. I don't really think that counts. But now, I think just due to worldwide demand and excess of beer, they're just like, we got to get this out.
Exactly.
And putting it on tap it's a great way to go. I'm so glad they're doing it.
But I remember someone posting on Facebook like, "Oh, now this place in like Gothenburg or Stockholm will be the first place ever to have Fonteinen on tap." And you and I had, when that post came, we had already had it here in Malmö. You and I had drank it together. And on that post, people were writing like, Akkurat, Stene did this way back, like years ago. This isn't new, blah, blah, blah. You get it. But so that's a big...
Haters gonna hate.
Haters always gonna hate. But that was a new, fun thing.
Yeah, I'm just sad that there hasn't. So after the summer place of Michaela Maruskin closed, there hasn't been another place that has had it on tap.
No, Metro had it, but I think they sold out.
They did?
Metro definitely had it on tap.
I did not realize that. Well, they should get more of it on tap.
Yes.
That's a shame. I thought maybe Bishop's Arms or maybe even Beer Ditch would have it on tap.
Yeah.
Or maybe they would just keep it going at Ramen de Biru over on Molovanen.
Yeah. And maybe they sold out. I saw that a friend, like a month ago, checked it in at Copenhagen, the Mikkeller place at Copenhagen Airport.
Okay.
That's Ramen de Biru, right?
No, it's Copenhagen Airport.
Right, yeah, right.
It's McKellar Copenhagen Airport.
Yes, there is no Ramen de Biru at Copenhagen Airport.
I think there is now.
Oh.
Maybe, I'm not sure. Could be.
I need a breakfast ramen next time I fly.
I know. All right, so what do you give this?
Somewhere between 4.25 and a 4.5. It's not really a 4.5. It's like a strong 4.25, but more than so.
Yeah, if we were doing tints, that would definitely be a 4.3.
Or 4.4.
Or 4.4, yeah. But I'm right there with you. It's definitely a 4.25.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. 4.3 or a 4.4 if it continues to develop in the glass as it gets more oxygen. And you brought the next beer.
I did. So we really enjoy the Lervig Rackhouse beers.
Yes.
These are barrel-aged stouts of some sort. This is called Silent Exchange. It's a barrel-aged imperial stout made with Pohjala out of Tallinn, Estonia. And it is a imperial stout aged in a blend of Finnish rye, maple syrup, and bourbon barrels for 18 months, combined to make a rich, complex, silent exchange of flavors and aromas.
Nice.
I've enjoyed most of these. I can't think of really anyone off the top of my head that I didn't enjoy, because they're usually just the base beer is always really solid, and then whatever they do to it always just kind of ups it a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Do you remember what we had last year's end of year?
A Rackhouse beer?
Do you know what we also had?
What?
Fonteinen.
Hey!
We had Fonteinen, Zene I Frontera, blend 94, and Lervig Off the Rack Port. That was last year's end of year.
So that one I probably didn't love as much as the other ones. I'm usually not a big fan of stouts on port barrels.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I just looked at the title now.
That's fine.
So this Silent Exchange, I've only had once at MBCC Festival. And I gave it a pretty good rating, but we all know festival ratings can skew a little bit.
They can. You're in the throes of passion, and it kind of skews your perception a little bit. But this smells amazing. It does smell really good. Good barrel aging. There's some maple on that. It's going to be good.
Cheers. Was it rye whiskey?
Yes.
So you can totally tell.
Finnish rye whiskey. So.
Finnish rye. Ooh.
Do we say the ABV on this? I'm guessing it's something like 15.8% ABV. The heat definitely comes through right up the nose, but it's not in a aggressive way. But it's definitely it's pretty strong off the top.
That's really good.
Yeah, but it's super smooth.
It's better than when I had it at the festival.
Surprise.
Now, but festival ratings, they can differ. They seldom differ more than... This maximum is probably 0.5. And this one differs less than so.
Yeah.
There's like a 0.25 difference between my festival rating and what I think of this now.
Yeah, this is a lot of dark chocolate and a little bit of licorice on there.
Yeah.
The barrel aging is nice, but it's not overwhelming. It's not super barrel-y, I don't think. It smelled more maple than in the flavor, but I find that these days maple always smells more than it actually tastes, and I think you'd have to add so much maple syrup for it to really taste mapley that it would throw off the balance of the beer.
There's no... Are you saying that there's too much maple in this one?
I don't really get any maple. Because it might just be like a flavor issue that I have where I don't really taste maple much in beers. But it smells a lot on the nose, and there's definitely a sweetness to it. But for me, it doesn't have a mapley, syrupy kind of flavor to it.
No, because I was going to say, I'm not getting any maple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or rather, I'm not getting that maple flavor that I don't like. The one that kind of goes into artificial sweetener territory.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
And a lot of times maple for me just dries out the finish in the beer to where it kind of just kills the beer in a lot of ways. So I've kind of tended to not go towards maple beers.
Yeah. What was it? I'll be honest. I didn't listen to you at all when you were talking about this.
Finnish rye, maple
syrup,
and bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
For 18 months.
But wait a minute. Okay, so Finnish rye, I consider that to be barrels, but it's probably just rye, like the food ingredient.
So? You think so? I assumed it was rye bourbon barrels as well, but it could be just Finnish rye.
So it's Finnish rye barrels, maple syrup barrels, and bourbon barrels then.
Wait, Finnish rye barrels? That's got to be an alcohol barrel then.
It doesn't say Finnish rye barrels.
Oh, okay.
It says Finnish rye, maple syrup, and bourbon barrels.
Okay, so they use Finnish rye in the malt.
I don't know. I have no idea. I am literally talking out of my ass because we're running out of year in order for me to say what I want.
True. I think this is excellent. Again, this is not quite a 4.5 for me, but it is definitely more than a 4.25. Both of these are just, I think, really great beers. Really, really enjoyable. Great way to end the year. So, yeah, 4.25 for me on this one.
Yeah. And then, remind me when I was officially made show host at a different time than when you and I started recording like regularly. I had been a guest on the show a number of times through the years. Is it December of 2018 where you and I start recording regularly? That's when Matthias has moved, right? It can't be
there
19.
Was a bit of overlap, but I don't remember entirely.
No.
Look, there's the pre-COVID days and then there's COVID days, and I don't know what those lines are.
I think
it must have been 2019 because then it was right after that we got into COVID times and.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Spring of 19 is when I made official co-host.
Mm-hmm. And that means you guys alternated, I guess, through last half of 18.
Yeah. So at the end of 18, I am in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes near the end of 2018. So we had started recording more regularly then. And that's fun. That's kind of we've passed like a 6-year anniversary of regularly recording together.
That's true.
That is fun. But yes, you and Matthias still had a lot of episodes, and you were kind of interspersing us whenever you could.
Yeah.
In that middle period. Keeping it alive. Not missing a single Thursday.
Exactly. So what do you give this?
4.5.
4.5. All right. What did you give it at the festival?
4.25.
Ah, so you're going up a little bit.
It's better now. Yeah. It's great. Oh, maybe you were expecting 4.75 based on my
I had no idea what you gave it at the festival, so I was very curious as what you were rating it now. You could have given it a 4. I don't know.
It's a strong 4.5.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
When I'm off the show and on Tapped, it'll get slightly higher, like 4.6.
Okay, very good.
What are you giving it?
Well, that's it. I gave it like I gave the 3F. It was like a
strong 4.25.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I give it.
I'll have some more then.
I just had a little more myself.
None for you.
No, I had a little bit more, and then I gave it like a 4.3, 4.35. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a strong 4.25. It's really, really nice.
In our beer tasting groups, we really should implement the rule that whoever gives it the highest rating gets the most of the remaining liquid in the bottle.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
But that's the utilitarianism in me.
Yeah, and I appreciate that gesture, but usually our bottle shares are so intense that I think giving someone extra would just be more of a burden than a... I don't think that's the gift you think it is.
No.
Well, we'll wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this year as much as we did. It's been a lot of fun. Any parting words on the air, Martin?
I don't know. Enjoy next year. Enjoy 2025 as much as you've enjoyed 2024 or more. Definitely don't do less.
Yeah, 2025 might be a reason to drink heavier. I don't know. Based on where we are in the world politics at this point, it might be a good year to start drinking if you haven't started already.
Yeah. Okay, so words of wisdoms. Don't give more than you can, and don't receive less than you're offered.
Yes. Sounds good. I like that.
Those are real wisdom words.
Those are real wisdom words.
Yeah.
So you can find us online at What's on Tap Podcast, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. What else? Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, that's still around. Apparently, that's not hip anymore. But I think we need to do a TikTok. I need to see you flossing. Yeah, for every beer, you're going to floss in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And we're on the deep web.
Yep. Yeah. So until next time,
keep drinking your dum-dums. Until next year.
Keep drinking your
dum-dums.